small town of Willowbrook was famous for its beautiful streets, charming cottages, and annual Christmas fair. Every year, the townspeople would gather at the community center to celebrate the season, and the highlight was always the gingerbread decorating contest. But a young baker with a desire to be creative had won the competition 3 years in a row. Her gingerbread creations were more than just cookies. They were works of edible art. She carefully piped to create intricate designs, and her cookies were always the talk of the town. But this year, he faced a challenge. The exhibition was a few days away, and he had hit a creative block. She sat in her cozy kitchen and stared at the empty gingerbread shapes on the table. The pressure was on him to maintain his winning streak. As the sun sank below the horizon, she drank her chamomile tea and stared out the window. The snow-covered landscape glistened under the moonlight. Inspiration struck, an idea so unusual it made him shudder. Emma decided to make a series of gingerbread cookies that tell a story. A dark story, one that will captivate the judges and leave the townspeople talking for years to come. She mixed her dough, rolled it, and cut out shapes. A little girl, a wolf, a forest, and a gingerbread house. The night before the exhibition, however, he worked tirelessly. He put the details on the cookies. The girl's braided hair, the wolf's menacing eyes, the twisted trees. But it was the gingerbread house that held this secret. He would carve small windows and doors, each revealing a glimpse of something unsettling. A shadowy figure, a pair of glowing eyes, a blood-soaked ground. When the exhibition arrived, Emma's performance stood out. The people of the city were surprised by his creation. The judges were also curious. They ate the cookies, and as they did, the story unfolded. In a forgotten corner of Willowbrook, there lived a little girl named Eliza. She was sweet, with golden curls and a heart full of curiosity. Eliza loved exploring the nearby woods, where ancient oaks whispered secrets and moss-covered rocks held memories. One winter day, Eliza wandered more than usual in the forest. The snow crunched under his boots, and the air got colder. He stumbles upon a gingerbread house, a house that shouldn't exist. Its candy windows sparkled and smoke billowed from the chimney. Eliza knocked and the door opened. The warmth inside beckoned him. The old woman who lived there welcomed him with open arms. He had sharp eyes and a crooked smile. "Come in, kid," she said. "I've been waiting for you." Eliza crossed the threshold and the door closed behind her. The gingerbread walls closed and the old woman's true form emerged, a shy witch who was hungry for souls. Eliza's golden curls turned gray and her innocence faded. When Eliza disappeared, the forest wept, leaving only a trail of shards. The townspeople searched, but he was never found. The gingerbread house was empty and its candy jars were broken. And so, each year, the fair's gingerbread cookies told Eliza's story. But creation was different. The windows of the house showed Eliza's ghostly face begging for freedom. The judges gasped and the townspeople murmured, but it depicted the hidden darkness in the sweet facade. He didn't win the contest that year, but his cookies left an indelible mark. As the exhibition ended, Emma folded up her display. He glanced at the gingerbread house, half expecting to see Eliza's ghost, but the house remained motionless and its secrets were locked. And so, the legend of gingerbread cookies spread. Some said Eliza's spirit haunted the forest, while others believed the witch still lurked in the shadows. Emma never made gingerbread again, but her story lived on. A chilling reminder that sweetness can hide darkness, even in the most indulgent of foods. In the heart of London, where fog clings to the cobbled streets and secrets whisper in the gas-filled alleys, there was a mysterious club, the Phi Obscura Society. Its members were eccentric, and their tastes tended toward obsession. Among them was Dorian Gray, a man whose charm transcended time. Hidden in a dimly lit club, Dorian's portrait held a dark secret. This was no ordinary painting, a cursed relic. For every sin Dorian committed, the portrait absorbed decay, keeping him forever young. But the portrait itself got old. Rotted, he bore the weight of Dorian's transgressions. One fateful night, Dorian stood in front of the portrait, its strange features hinting at his debauchery. His reflection in the stained mirror showed an untouched face. He was handsome, irresistible, and utterly depraved. The Obscura community is buzzing with rumors, a new invention called the Soul Lens. It captured more than just images. Glancing into the soul, Dorian, ever curious, sought the ultimate selfie, a portrait that revealed his inner darkness. In the dimly lit chamber, Dorian raised the soul lens. His glass eyes stared back, and he was thirsty for the truth. He took a selfie and the room shook. The portrait trembled, its decay intensified. Dorian's reflection changed, a wrinkle, a scar, a sign of regret. The Obscura community gasped. Dorian's selfie revealed not only his face but his essence, decay, lust, cruelty. The portrait that once mirrored his sins now mirrors his soul. As the days passed, the portrait of Dorian aged rapidly. The Obscura community watched in horror as the once handsome face became a strange mask. Dorian himself was not hurt, but his conscience was eating him. The selfie had revealed his true nature. Dorian, desperate to get rid of this curse, followed the creator of Soul Lens, an elusive character named Dr. Faustus. The doctor's price was high, a soul for a soul. Dorian hesitated. Will he sacrifice another to regain his youth? Dorian turned to the mirror in the dim light of the Obscura Guild. The eyes of the portrait bore into him. He clicked the soul lens one last time. The room shook, and the portrait shattered. Dorian's reflection has aged, a wrinkle, a scar, a hint of redemption, and so Dorian Gray's selfie became legend, a cautionary tale for those seeking eternal youth. Because if a man gains the whole world and loses his life, what will it profit him? In the heart of the bustling city, tucked away from the chaos of modern life, stood an ancient library, the Whispering Stacks. Its oak doors bore the weight of centuries, and the scent of aged paper hung in the air. Visitors entered with reverence, knowing that within these walls knowledge transcended time. One stormy evening, Ethan, a curious librarian, patrolled the aisles. His fingers brushed against leather-bound spines, each containing stories of forgotten empires, lost spells, and forbidden wisdom. But one book stood out, an unassuming tome titled Ars Ignis. As Ethan opened Ars Ignis, flames danced across its pages. The words shifted, forming intricate diagrams and cryptic verses. The book whispered secrets of fire, its creation, control, and destruction. But there was more, a chapter titled Flamethrowers, a historical perspective. Ethan's brow furrowed. Why would such dangerous knowledge reside in a library? He traced the illustrations, the earliest flamethrowers used in ancient warfare, their destructive power harnessed by emperors and conquerors. One day, a patron named Amelia approached Ethan. Her eyes sparkled with curiosity. "I seek the forbidden," she said, "the truth behind flamethrowers." Ethan hesitated. Why? Amelia's gaze held a fire of its own. Because knowledge should never be locked away, even the dangerous kind. Together, Ethan and Amelia delved deeper. They discovered a hidden chamber beneath the library, a forgotten laboratory. Its walls bore scorch marks, remnants of experiments long past. In the center stood a pedestal, upon which rested an ancient flamethrower. "Is this wisdom or folly?" Amelia asked. Ethan traced the weapon's contours. Perhaps both. Flamethrowers, tools of destruction and defiance. But within them lies the essence of choice. As they studied the flamethrower, Ethan pondered, did knowledge belong solely to the wise? Or did it thrive when shared, even if it scorched the unwary? Amelia ignited the flamethrower, flames licking the air. "We'll write our own chapter," she declared, "not of destruction, but of understanding." And so, within the hallowed halls of the Whispering Stacks, Ethan and Amelia kindled a new flame, a quest for wisdom that danced on the edge of danger. In the heart of the bustling city, nestled between two nondescript buildings, was an old bookstore, the Curious Quill. Its faded sign swayed gently in the breeze, inviting passers-by to explore its dusty shelves. One rainy afternoon, Lily, an aspiring writer, walks into a bookstore. The air smelled of ancient skin and forgotten dreams. He walked past the rows of leather cloths until he reached the back corner. There, hidden behind a stack of yellowed newspapers, stood a cerulean door. The doors were like no other. Its color contrasted with the brown colors of the room, and its brass handle glowed mysteriously. A handwritten sign hung above it. "Open only if you seek the extraordinary." Lily hesitated. What was beyond? Adventure, magic, or maybe madness? His curiosity won out, and he turned the knob. When the door opened, Lily stepped into a world bathed in cerulean light. The air was shining, and the ground under his feet was like cool water. He stood on the threshold of a forgotten realm, the land of cerulean. Here, trees whispered secrets, and rivers flowed with liquid sapphires. Creatures with rainbow wings flutter by, their eyes reflecting the Indian sky. Lily's heart quickened. He had stumbled upon a place where imagination danced with reality. Lily explored cerulean with an ancient map she found in her pocket. He led her to the sapphire forest, where the trees hummed enchanting melodies. He met Azura, a wise owl with cerulean feathers, who revealed the purpose of his journey. The cerulean holds the key to our world's survival, but it's lost, the lost key. Only a true seeker can find it, Azura said. Lily's quest began. He crossed crystal bridges, deciphered riddles written in cerulean ink, and faced trials that tested his courage. Along the way, he meets other seekers: Jasper, a painter seeking inspiration, and Luna, a musician searching for elusive melodies. At cerulean's edge, Lily found the final door, a massive cerulean vault guarded by a spectral gatekeeper. His eyes contained the galaxies, and his voice echoed in eternity. To find the missing key, you must answer one question. What color is your soul? The gatekeeper said loudly. Lily hesitated. He thought about his dreams, his fears, and the people he loved. Cerulean, she then whispered. The gatekeeper smiled and the door opened. Beyond was a room full of flames, a dungeon where the lost key awaited. Lily forged it from the memories, hopes, and courage she had gained. Lily was holding cerulean's key in the bookstore. The door had disappeared, leaving only a blank wall. He knew his time at cerulean was over, but its magic would forever shape his stories. Lily sat at her typewriter as the rain beat against the window. The first line flowed effortlessly. Beyond Servel's door, adventure awaits. And so, his story began, a story of doors, colors, and fantastic things. The sun tiptoed through the bedroom curtains, casting a feeble glow on Grace's floor. She stirred, her limbs heavy with sleep. The alarm blared, a jarring intrusion into her dreams. Grace sat up, rubbing her eyes. Morning rituals beckoned, the mundane tasks that tethered her to reality. Her phone lay on the nightstand, fully charged. She unplugged it, the cable slipping from its socket. The wallpaper caught her attention, a photo of a gnarled oak tree in West Park. Rich had proposed there, hadn't he? But something felt wrong. Had she taken this picture yesterday? Or was it a forgotten memory? Grace scrolled through her messages. Mom, Sarah, Rich, the usual suspects. But Rich, she hadn't heard from him in ages. His reply appeared. "Why did you get back in touch? Want to meet up?" Grace frowned. She hadn't messaged him, or had she? The lines blurred, and her memory played tricks. Then came the Words with Friends notification. 5 ongoing games. Grace didn't remember playing. She uninstalled the app, but the whispers persisted. Safe and sound, safe and sound. Coffee in hand, Grace settled on the sofa. Her phone buzzed. Tom's message. A date on Saturday, Royal Oak at 2 p.m. Who was Tom? Why didn't she remember? Panic crept in. Was her mind unraveling? She checked her calendar. Thursday dinner with Mom, planned. Saturday with Tom, no details. The doctor's cue mocked her. Safe and sound, safe and sound. Grace scanned her bookshelves. No sign of Catch-22's. But there, atop other books lay Never Let Me Go. Blue cover, cassette tape. She never dog-eared pages or cracked spines. Had she? The phone beeped. Rich again. "I can see you're reading my messages." The doorbell chimed. Amazon delivery. Grace tore open the package. A green Catch-22, the same edition she'd lost. How? The whispers intensified. Safe and sound, safe and sound. As the day unfolded, Grace clung to reality. The selfie of her mind faded, replaced by shadows. Was she safe? Or was her soul slipping away, pixel by pixel, message by message? The whispers grew louder, insistent. Grace's reflection in the mirror seemed less like her own. Her eyes held secrets. Her smile concealed mysteries. She wondered if the oak tree in the photo was real or a portal to another world, one where time unraveled and memories danced on the edge of oblivion. Rich's messages arrived at odd hours, cryptic and accusatory. "You know what you did," they said. But Grace didn't know. Her mind was a jigsaw puzzle with missing pieces. She traced her fingers over the green Catch-22, its pages brittle, its words elusive. Had she read it before, or was it a talisman against the whispers? Tom, the mysterious date, awaited her at Royal Oak. Grace arrived early, scanning the crowd. Tom was nowhere to be found. Had she imagined him? The whispers echoed. Safe and sound, safe and sound. She ordered a coffee, the warmth seeping into her bones. The barista's face blurred. Was it Tom or someone else? Desperation drove Grace to Dr. Faustus, the creator of the soul lens. His office smelled of old books and forgotten dreams. "I can restore your memories," he said, "but there's a price." Grace hesitated. What soul would she sacrifice? Her own or someone else's? The whispers intensified, urging her toward the mirror. She clicked the soul lens. The room trembled and her reflection fractured. A wrinkle, a scar, a hint of redemption. The oak tree beckoned. Grace stood beneath its gnarled branches, the wind whispering secrets. "Safe and sound," it murmured. She reached out, touching the rough bark. Memories flooded back, the proposal, the laughter, the forgotten promises. The oak held them all, the lost fragments of her soul. Dr. Faustus watched as Grace faced the mirror. Her reflection wavered, torn between decay and redemption. "Choose," he said, "your soul or theirs." Grace hesitated. The whispers swirled, merging with the wind. She glimpsed mom's face, Rich's accusation, and her own fractured self.